So after our little run-in with Axel, we move on to the city, which is being under attack by the Wolf Army, of course. After we go through some load times. And yes, from that description there, Axel is actually a Rocket Knight ever since Sparkster left. And Princess Sherry is here, but she's locked herself away. But don't worry, she doesn't actually get kidnapped in this game. Oh, an interesting thing about the image that shows up in the beginning of levels. It seems that Sparkster's sword is connected to his jetpack with a cable or something. So it seems to be powered by his jetpack, essentially. That's actually pretty cool and would explain why he's able to do stuff like the sword blast when he's flying around. Damn wolves. And we see a couple of guys fighting here, a pig and a wolf. Ooh, right in the head there. And now the wolf is gloating about it. But, bonk. Yeah, and that animation just sort of cycles. It's just sort of just background animation of characters, but it's a little bit funny. And those are hot. Don't rocket into them. While the animations were pretty simplistic, at least it does give you a sense of like things are happening. And there's a ship in the background and there's a pig who's just hiding out, I guess. Oh yeah, and those flags that you pass, those are checkpoints in case you die. I forgot to mention that earlier, and oh no, we're getting great balls of fire shot at us. The thing is, with this version, controlling Sparkster in the side-scrolling parts with an analog stick is a little iffy at times. Although the analog stick controls works great in the flying stages. And there's ninja wolves. We can duck to avoid shurikens. And the color scheme of these wolves are actually pretty reminiscent of actual ninjas or assassins because they're dark and they're actually trying to hide in the shadows. But of course this game is pretty bright and colorful anyway, so you'll be able to see them pretty easily anyway. So we gotta wait for another catapult fireball to fall into the city here, and we're dropped down and we have to face more wolves. The sign there tells you how to do this. The vortex, the burst vortex, though I just call it a spin attack. And with the dynamite throwing wolves, you can actually use your sword to hit the dynamite back at them, which is a useful tactic to do against these guys. Are there more to deal with? Oh yeah, there's one more, which we take care in slow motion. It's kind of pointless, but hey, it looks cool, so why not? Okay, now we're into more of the city with more wolves. Obviously, of course. Why do I even bother mentioning that, since you can clearly see that? The levels in this game are actually pretty open-ended, which I kind of like games that are open-ended. It lets you explore and find, hidden nooks and crannies and things like that. But at the same time, it's like you can spend a lot of time just wandering around aimlessly trying to find everything. So I mean, I'm just distracted by all the enemies and gems you have to collect. There's just so much stuff in this level you can do. I'm just trying to make this into a streamlined, let's play. That way I'm not dicking around too much. I will give the game this, though. You get to see the actual city of the opossums from the Rocket Knight games. Because the only time we ever saw the kingdom, really, was in the first Rocket Knight Adventures game. There was like a few countryside houses in the first level, and then the castle shortly after. So this we get to see an actual, nicely detailed treehouse city of the opossums. And I guess the pigs too, with the industrial stuff in the last levels. And we have a police system with lots of ninja wolves. And I like to boost to the doors just because. And oh, the statue of Sparkster destroyed, and there's one of Axel. That's not fair. Hopefully we'll fix that soon, and I'm trying to get this red gem, which I'm having trouble getting it for some reason. And yes, it's telling you now that you can boost diagonally up walls, though you'll probably find that out by accident. Or if you're a veteran Rocket Knight adventure player like I am, you'll already know that anyway. But there is a bit of a mechanic here where you can keep going as you boost along the walls. It actually extends your rocketing. So it is actually it is actually a unique mechanic in this one at least, and that dynamite went over him. Trying to get a good angle and trying to knock him back, or I could just go up to him and kill him. Or get hit by the dynamite anyway, and another guy spawns. Okay, that surprisingly hit him. Is that all? And yeah, it is. Let's keep going. And okay, boosting diagonally down is actually more trickier than boosting diagonally up for me, because, well, I'm more used to boosting diagonally up than down. And get every gem. And that one was in the floor. And there's lots of wolves to deal with, but nothing our sword can't handle. Yeah. Coming out of the windows and stuff. Yep, come on. Want to get up there and get the goods. Little storage area or something here. And just like in the first Rocket Knight Adventures games, the diamonds just pretty much tell you where you can ricochet off of walls and stuff. Though this is like the only level that really has that. Although ricocheting does still come into play later on. And see, I see gems there, but I'm trying to jump up to it, but I can't quite remember where or how you're supposed to get to it. Oh well, I better not screw around for too long, otherwise this will be longer than necessary. Come on. Come on, I just gotta give up and just keep going for the sake of everyone's patience. No, there's nothing up there, it's just more wood. And whee! Sliding, ow. Yeah, the climbing on the poles works well in this game. It's better than some of the games, and you actually have momentum in this one. And this is a huge area. And we chuck some dynamite at that guy. Yeah, there's this place is huge, so I might take quite a while just trying to get every enemy and get every gem and all sorts of stuff. But as I was saying, when you're hanging on the ropes, or not the ropes, the poles, you actually have some momentum when you're sliding down, which is kind of surprising. Why can I not? There, sheesh. Aha, there we go. So much needed health. Oh yeah, and there's also large and small health medallions. Large ones heal about roughly half your health, while small ones restore about 2 hearts worth of health. And there's another one on this side too. Oh yeah, one thing about the projectile attacks, the burst projectiles, while they do have range, they're actually weaker. It usually takes about 2 hits of those to kill a standard enemy, while it's just like 1 sword swipe to kill an enemy. Not much else to say about this area really, other than I'm just going around rocketing, killing enemies. This is a fairly large area, and oh no, everything's on fire. Anything up there? No, let's not get hit by the fire and actually keep going. There we go. Oh no, they set fire to the tree. How dare they? I'm just double checking to make sure I don't miss anything. Well, I can do that at least to get that red gem. Ow, that's fire. At this point I don't have much else to say other than stating the obvious, like moving platforms. And, whoa. Oh, right there there was a drill attack. Now, while the game doesn't really teach you how to use that just yet, if you boost while tapping the B button, you'll do a drill attack. So it's just like the drill attack in the Genesis Sparkster, only you don't need to wait for a full recharge. You can just sort of do it while tapping the B button at the expense of more rocket fuel. So that actually works better than the Genesis version, in my opinion, in terms of like control and actually using it effectively. Because the corkscrew in the Genesis, or the drill attack in the Genesis Sparkster, that just made me fly around all over it out of control more than, you know, being helpful, even if it was an interesting mechanic. Although in this game it's more used as a more powerful attack rather than something to use for like the first level in the Genesis Sparkster to unscrew things. And we have another gauntlet of enemies we have to deal with. You have to watch out for the Dark Wolves' lunge attack because they have a bit of an invincibility frame while doing it, so you can't interrupt it and you'll get hit by them. So it's best to avoid their attack and then go in for the kill, essentially. There we go. That's taken care of. And Sparkster, I guess, is glowing about it, though you can't really see him because it's zoomed out. Oh well. I didn't quite get everything, of course, but I'm not too worried about that. I still can find some extra lives here and there, and already got like 7 lives. You can actually gain quite a few extra lives by not only finding one-ups, but getting everything to gain extra lives as well. So once we do that, we move on to the next stage, which is actually the first game's boss, unless you count Axel in the second stage. The Forest Shredder. So now we reach the gate and there's Axel. But there's this thing we have to deal with first. Of course, Axel backs away, not wanting to deal with it, so we're going to have to deal with it ourselves. Now, this boss is actually fairly simplistic. He'll shoot missiles at you, which you can avoid fairly easily, and to attack him, you just hit his face. And he shoots dynamite at you as well, which you can actually hit back at him. Though it's easier to just rocket into his face several times. But if we do it just right... Well... There's also these platforms, and the range of that wasn't quite there. And there we go. Now that sound cue when we hit that boss with dynamite, that means we unlocked the hard mode for the next set of levels, because the way hard mode works is you have to essentially unlock them by doing a special technique to a bosses. With this one, it's, well, hitting dynamite back into his face. And, what am I doing here? Oh yes, and he'll throw buzz saws that will destroy platforms, which will make it a little bit harder to avoid some of his attacks, like his missiles and things like that. But if we keep rocking it into his face, he's not that hard, or you can just phase right through him right there. But as far as a first world boss, he's pretty standard, and yeah! Got him with a dynamite stick right in his face. That's a good way to finish him off. Yeah, is he dead? Just poke him for good measure, and oh! Not down just yet. Or maybe he is. Surprised the wolves even have the technology to make this stuff, and oh, we're pinned down now by the mask thing, and Axel, being the dick that he is, takes all the credit. Of course, that's Axel for you. And yeah, we unlocked hard mode for the next levels, but we're going to stick with normal just for the sake of the LP, because I don't really need to do it unless I want to unlock some character skins or something. So now here we have General Swineheart, who is the leader of the pigs, who is essentially telling us that the wolves are bad and that we need to go invade them. And I think that's Princess Sherry on the stage as well, and of course there's Axel, who's like, hey, this is our Rocket Knight and he'll help us out too. So of course the people and the pigs are like, yay, let's go kick their asses for invading our country. But oh no, I wonder if they have sinister plans. Swineheart and Axel, that is, of course. And after that rally speech, Sparkster finally gets free and we move on.